Well, he's not smiling, he's not happy, he's all business. Does he look nervous? That's maybe too strong a word, but somewhere between and somewhere close to that. He knows how much pressure he's under, Ronald.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to a sold-out O2 Arena here in London, England. We are live on DAZN for the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled and an international heavyweight contest. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with 258 Management, AJ Boxing, and TGB Promotions. We're sponsored by Betfred, Stagefront, Lucozade Sport, Forged Irish Stout, the creamiest stout in the world, now available at Asda and JD Sports. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is Mr. Mick Collier. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside, all from England. From Fleetwood, Steve Gray. From Twickenham, Marcus McDonnell. And from Watford, Bob Williams. And at the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring from Barhead, Scotland, A-star referee, Mr. Victor Laughlin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set and we are here. This is it. The time has come. I said the time has come. From the 4 corners of the world to the 4 corners of this ring right here in London, England, the fight starts now! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the white trunks with the blue lettering. He tipped the scale 17 stone, 11 pounds, 4 ounces. He fights out of Mariehamn, Finland. His professional record, 32 victories, 4 defeats, with 21 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBC Silver and IBF Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion and the reigning WBA Gold Heavyweight titleist, known as the Nordic Nightmare, Robert Hellanius. Hellanius. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the white trunks and scales 17 stone, 12 pounds, bang on. His professional record, 25 victories, 3 defeats, with 22 of his 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Proudly fighting out of and representing his home of Watford, England, here is the 2012 Olympic gold medalist and the former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, AJ Anthony Joshua.
So Anthony Joshua just having that full-length red robe removed by his corner team. Derek James, his shaven-headed trainer, working with that Anthony Joshua for the 2nd fight in succession, just giving him some final instructions. He takes on a swig of water, and now he and Robert Hellanius make their way to centre ring for the final
instructions. Okay, guys, you've had your instructions. Remember, obey my commands at all time. Defend yourselves at all time. God bless. Touch gloves. Let's do it.
Well, when Lennox Lewis defended his world heavyweight title against the 6'7" Michael Grant, boxing impresario Don King dubbed it too big. 13 feet and 500 pounds of fight, and that tagline certainly appropriate here. as the 6'6" Anthony Joshua faces off against the 6'7" Robert Hellanius. And we are underway. Heavyweight boxing here on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're at the O2 Arena, round 1 scheduled for 12. And Hellanius, the slightly taller man, his shaven head, a white tunic trimmed with blue, out aggressively to centre ring. Anthony Joshua in red trunks trimmed with white on the back foot, fires a speculative right hand, which missed by some distance. And it's both men with hands that are around their pecs. Anthony Joshua just putting his guard up around his chin. Right hand goes beneath his left elbow, scoring shots from Robert Hellanius. And now the action in centre ring, a rather ponderous looking right hand lead by Anthony Joshua, not setting it up with the lead left hand, and the two men on top of the logo. Right hand does find the bearded chin of Robert Hellanius from Anthony Joshua, who's peering between high held gloves. Robert Hellanius confidently dropping his hands while out of range, takes this long jab to the body from Anthony Joshua, who's on the back foot, approaching figure 12 on the far side of the boxing ring, figure 12 on the clock face. If you consider our commentary position is at figure 5 on the clock face. Anthony Joshua reaches and lands with a right hand, then follows up with a left jab, and it's Hellanius dominating centre ring at present, dipping at the knees, bouncing up and down in front of Anthony Joshua. Nice head movement to the left from Anthony Joshua to cause that left jab from Hellanius to go over his right shoulder. And then he came back with a counter left jab of his own. There Anthony Joshua leading off with a jab. Hellanius tried the same shot. Both men were inaccurate. Approaching the halfway stage of the opening round. Long looping left hook fired by Anthony Joshua was off the mark. Double left jab tried to head and body from Robert Hellanius. Both of them blocked by the right glove, parried by the right glove of the former two-time champion. Minute 20 remaining. Right hand was caught by the left glove of Anthony Joshua as Robert Hellanius went looking for that hammer of Thor that he possesses. And the two men bobbing and weaving in front of one another. Exchange of jabs. A jab to the head from Hellanius, jab to the body from Anthony Joshua. Joshua dipping at the knees now. There he steps through and lands with a right hand lead, which tags Robert Hellanius on his chin, but Hellanius showing good composure. Both men on flat feet. Not the explosive start from either boxer, not the explosive start as that Hellanius tried against Deontay Wilder, only to wind up getting knocked out in the first round. And it looks as though Anthony Joshua isn't going in search of a first round stoppage. Both boxers patient. Double left jab from Anthony Joshua out centre ring. The second jab did get through on an upward trajectory. Robert Hellanius just edging backwards towards our commentary position. Tried to employ the layback to make Anthony Joshua miss with the left. Anthony Joshua then followed with the right. The counter right hand from Hellanius was off the mark. Hellanius with a wide-eyed look as he takes another left jab from Anthony Joshua. Joshua then drops down with a jab to the body. Hellanius hands down by his belt line before putting them up, not really around his head, but they're parallel to either side of his head. There's a big boulevard of opportunity between those gloves, but Anthony Joshua parrying the left jab with his right glove once again. Said that he never learned defense under his previous coaching regime, and he's blocking shots effectively with his right glove in this opening round. 10-second clapper is sounded. Hellanius jabbing from out of reach, drops his hands once again, feinting with the right hand, doesn't pull the trigger, and then just stares at Anthony Joshua as the two men make their way back after a rather busy opening round.
Yeah, a lot of movement, a lot of foot movement. I thought Joshua was using some good footwork there, and he was picking shots, blocking shots, doing it nicely, moving his shoulders and showing head work. Lovely, all of that. That's not why we're here tonight. Sorry, let's be a bit more brutal. Okay, we're not here to see Anthony Joshua throw a jab, feint of a jab and move his feet. We're here to see Anthony Joshua go over his front foot, land a big left and let a big right hand go. George, that was a nice opening round. Surely we're going to see a bit more, and we're going to see it soon.
Yeah, no, I mean, Joshua won the round, but he looked a little bit more nervous, a little bit stiff, you know, and he's been guilty of that in the past. Threw a couple of right hands, but lost his right leg in the process. Had a bit more commitment with the jab, but I think Hellanius probably finished that round thinking, I didn't get caught with nothing. A couple more rounds of this, and it might be in full flow.
So into the second round we go. These men sparred up at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield, the base under the tutelage of Robert McCracken, where the GB team prepare for Olympic Games and international tournaments all over the world. Anthony Joshua began his professional career up there, and it was in preparation for Vladimir Klitschko that Robert Hellanius was brought in, and they did a series of 8-round sparring sessions. How many tells, how many secrets will have been picked up during those sparring sessions all that time ago? Both different fighters now, of course, as Hellanius scores with a good left jab to the head. Anthony Joshua responds with a good left jab to the body. Joshua on the logo at centre ring, just being forced backwards by the incremental forward movement of Robert Hellanius. Joshua peering between his gloves, moving laterally to his left in a clockwise direction, and again responding to every feint that is being proffered by Robert Hellanius, looking to be defensively sharp and responsible. Long left hook just glanced the right glove of Hellanius and caught him on his chin on the way through. But that partial block did take some of the pop off it. Speculative left jab from Anthony Joshua doesn't get through, and the two men standing within punching range. Hellanius tries a jab to the body. It's knocked down by the palm of Anthony Joshua's right glove, as Anthony Joshua, continuing to move to his left in clockwise fashion, could be walking on to the vaunted backhand of Robert Hellanius. That's the best shot in his armory. But again, scoring effectively behind a point-scoring jab is Anthony Joshua. Hellanius feinting by bobbing and weaving to his left, but not really letting his hands go. It's almost as though he's trying to play counter-puncher. There he scores with the left jab to the sternum, approaching figure one on the clock face on the far side of the boxing ring. Hellanius shaking that right glove, and there's a beautiful corkscrew left hand landed by Hellanius. That springs Joshua into life, and he comes back with two jabs of his own. The second one was a hard, stiff shot, pistoned out from the shoulder, and then a left jab to the body, followed by a right hand over the top. At figure 9 on the clock face, Victor Loughlin separates the two because Robert Hellanius clung him tightly just to allow his head to clear from that two-shot salvo that he was subjected to. The boxer's back beneath the ring lights, in directly at center ring, scoring left jab twice in quick succession. As he went for a third jab, Hellanius couldn't find a range, but the first two jabs were point-scoring punches that snapped the head back of Anthony Joshua. Hellanius backing up voluntarily toward the ropes, directly across my commentary position at figure 12 on the clock face. And now Hellanius edging forward once again. And this is shaping up to be a very good-looking boxing match, as Hellanius slams in a right hand to the body with his palm turned upwards to the ring lights, came back with a left jab as well, and again shaping up to be a nice boxing contest. But there's a good scoring jab from Anthony Joshua, but again, given what Deontay Wilder, one of the biggest punches in the history of the heavyweight division, did to Robert Hellanius, and given the knockout percentage that Anthony Joshua possesses at 79%, I don't think the capacity crowd have come to see an exhibition of the sweet science. They want to see it backed up by some heavy leather from both boxers, and that has been in short supply thus far. But plenty of skill in evidence as the bell sounds to end round number 2.
Hey, I like that jab when he stepped forward and he showed a little pause and he landed on the right hand, good, causing Hellanius to clam up and cover, so I think it clearly hurt him. I won't say it shook him, it clearly hurt it, he clearly felt it. Joshua's moving really well. I think his foot works well. I think he's moving his head, he's dipping his shoulders, and he's blocked half a dozen shots. That's all good, and I think he will step on it. You know, he said he wasn't going to walk out in the first couple of rounds, George. He said he was going to work into it. I think one more round like that, and by round 4, he'll start to get a bit closer. Because Hellanius will, listen, he's not struggling, Hellanius, but he doesn't want to try and win too hard. Because when you win too hard, what happens, George? You get hit on the chin, son.
Yeah, definitely do.
I mean that nicely.
No, yeah, it's better flow from Joshua in that round. Hellanius still a little bit, I mean, he's aggressive, he's got aggressive flow. Joshua needs to back him up. We saw Derek James in the corner tend to step out to his left and let his right hand go.
So, Robert Hellanius, the first man off his stall to answer the bell for round number 3. The action just above our commentary position, approaching the periphery of the boxing ring. And it's Anthony Joshua tightening up his guard around his chin. Left jab to the body is a scoring shot. Hellanius just approaching his own red corner, now moving to his left. There's a solid left jab that sends a shower of spray from the shaven head of the Nordic Nightmare. Joshua going body hunting once again with that lead left hand. And it's Hellanius now momentarily up onto his toes, just approaching the blue corner before edging back towards center ring. His chin's way up in the air like a weather vane, and he was just jabbed on it once again by Anthony Joshua, who's presenting an altogether more compact figure, even though there's only 1 inch difference in height. Anthony Joshua 6'6" to the 6'7" of Hellanius. Beautiful counter left jab from Anthony Joshua, making Hellanius miss and coming back with a scoring shot of his own. Hellanius looking for that left jab, and there he scored with a reverse 1-2. Right hand was off the mark. The looping left got through from Hellanius, but it's Anthony Joshua just looking to turn the screw and apply more pressure here now, but then he's just discouraged in that regard by taking a stiff left jab to the body from Hellanius. Anthony Joshua back with his boxing stance beneath him, backing up Robert Hellanius. The figure 12 on the clock face, on the ropes on the far side of the ring, takes a good straight shot to the body, does Hellanius, catapults off the strands and is edging back towards center ring once again. Left jab to the body attempted by Hellanius, again battered down by the right glove of Anthony Joshua, as Hellanius just prancing now, kangarooing around the ring as he's moving to his left. Now he's on flat feet once again. jabbed towards figure 10 on the clock face, approaching the blue corner. Anthony Joshua, the aggressor with his presence and with his positioning in the ring, but he's not really letting his hands go. Everything is a single shot. There he blocks a left jab with his right glove before scoring with a left jab to the body, and you can hear what the capacity crowd here at the O2 Arena think about it. Right hand was tried, it was off the mark from Joshua. The left hook was blocked by the right glove of Hellanius as Anthony Joshua was off the mark. Good two-shot salvo to the body from the Nordic Nightmare. Looping left hand followed by a roundhouse right to the left flank of Anthony Joshua. Minute to go in this third round. Scoring left jab once again. It's Anthony Joshua who is piling up the points with a piston-like left jab. Robert Hellanius said that he wouldn't have taken this assignment to the right hand. Crashes home from Anthony Joshua and stiffens the legs of Robert Hellanius. He was just above the ring, right directly above our commentary position. Now he's moving to his left, but he's only backed over to the neutral corner on this near side of the ring. Then he gets back to center ring, takes another left jab from Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua planting his feet into the canvas and bowling in an overhand right, which tagged Hellanius on his chin, and it certainly got his attention. His chin came up, his leg stiffened, but Joshua, well, he wasn't able to follow up with an effective offensive burst. 10-second clapper sounds. Beautiful corkscrew jab on an upward trajectory from Anthony Joshua, landed at center ring. Robert Hellanius, wide-eyed and concentrated, trying to impose himself with his presence, but he's really not presenting any threat with his punches. Good round from Anthony Joshua. The best shot of the fight landed with that overhand right.
And it clearly hurt him, and maybe Hellanius is feeling it a little bit more. Bit of urgency from Joshua. But I tell you what, Ronald, wasn't sure I'd come here tonight to hear a crowd booing in the third round. I can see why they're booing, don't worry about that. What I do love, George, before I throw to you, is the punches that Derek James throws in the corner. He throws punches that Floyd Mayweather would struggle to put together in the ring. No disrespect. George, thoughts on that round?
Yeah, a better round again for Joshua. The best punch of the fight so far landed. Hellanius did look hurt from that. He stumbled back, but then he got his feet back under him. And Joshua didn't really look to press it or push it on him. I know it's only the third round. He's probably thinking the shot will come again. It was a great right hand. He goes through the target, just clipped Hellanius' chin. And he's probably still aware of where he is. He's not totally gone in the fight. His arms come out, sort of giving that extra layer of defense. But he definitely don't want to take any more punches like that.
So into the fourth round we go. The noble art of self-defense has a long, rich history of late substitutes stepping in and making a name for themselves. Smoking Burt Cooper took on Evander Holyfield at 6 days' notice after Francesco Damiani pulled out. Rocked Holyfield in the third before being stopped in the seventh. Vitaly Klitschko was a late sub for the Canadian Kirk Johnson. He gave Lennox a really hard fight in what proved to be Lennox's final fight of his career. But perhaps none can top the fact that Tommy Morrison fought an opponent out of the crowd when he took on Tim Tomaszek, and then understandably, invariably destroyed him in a round. This substitute coming in at a week's notice. There he tries a speculative left uppercut at center ring, does Hellanius. He's breathing through a mouth that's slightly open now. Remember, he was in the ring a week ago. He got the undefeated compatriot out of there, but it was the first. Oh, there's a strong right hand once again, with Hellanius leaning way back over the top rope, and then he used the tension of the strand to catapult himself back to center ring and embrace Anthony Joshua in a bear hug. Now there's distance between the two once again. Is Hellanius posing and shaping, looking to press Anthony Joshua, but it's almost as though he's shaping to throw what Mickey Duff used to call don't hit me punches, because he's there seemingly to be hit in range, but he's not really committing to the left jab that he's just thrown on that occasion. Anthony Joshua keeping his shape nicely. Long left hook fired by Joshua was off the mark by some distance. And it's Hellanius in punching range once again, drops his hands down to his knees, then gets them back to the on-guard position, but again, not really protecting anything. His hands wide and away from his head, away from his chin. Now he's edging forwards once again, looking to pin Anthony Joshua towards the ropes at figure 3 on the clock face. Again, if you consider that our commentary position is at figure 5. Anthony Joshua with good footwork to spin away from the confined position of the ropes and back to center ring. Good right hand to the body, dug in beneath the left elbow on a straight downward trajectory from Hellanius, but then Joshua comes back with an exchange of jabs. The jab from Joshua landing at mid-range, it was with a bent arm, and it jolted Hellanius' head back, but then Hellanius comes back with a stiff left hand of his own. Right hand driven into just beneath the heart from Joshua, then he drops it down to the liver, lower on the same side of Hellanius' left flank, but Hellanius flicking out a jab, but he's made to pay by taking a piston-like left jab from Anthony Joshua that again jolted his head backwards. Hellanius comes back with a jab to the body. Joshua counters with the same shot. The two men in center ring. Hellanius just backing up towards the commentary position on this near side of the ring. Then he gets over his front foot and he's looking to pin Anthony Joshua to the ropes at figure 9 on the clock face. Anthony Joshua moving off to his left. Just a little bit of a mouse perhaps developing beneath the left eye of Anthony Joshua. It's closing and that could render him unsighted. Beautiful up jab from Anthony Joshua of a corkscrew variety. Wonderfully nuanced use of the lead left hand. But we'll keep an eye on that left optic of Anthony Joshua because it appears to be swelling, and a swelling worsening almost by the second. So the 4th round in the book. And again, Steve Bunch, your thoughts on that stanza?
AJ steadily putting pressure on, steadily getting closer, getting his body in a position to let his hands go, and that's obviously coinciding with the fact that Hellanius is starting to look a little bit tired now. His nose is running, his nose is bleeding. He's getting caught with far more shots. He's throwing fewer shots. I've got a feeling, George, that he's earning his money and he might be getting close to the end for Mr. Hellanius.
Yeah, I think you might be right there, Steve. He had a little bit of success landing the jab, but there's no commitment from it. There's no weight in the shot, and you've got to have weight in the shot in boxing, especially heavyweight boxing. Joshua, on the other hand, his shots do have weight in them. He's never been the fastest guy, so he's not necessarily there to catch you on the counter, but when he presses behind the jab and has that right hand, I think that's where he's having the most success so far in this fight.
And that's going to be the final shot. Left, pulls, big right hand.
So it's the 5th round then, both boxers out to the middle of the boxing ring, and it's Anthony Joshua getting over that front foot. Robert Hellanius moving laterally to his left to ensure that he doesn't wind up in the corner. Nice spin move employed by both boxers to turn the tables. It's Anthony Joshua with his back to us now. Hellanius is back skimming the ropes on the far side of the ring between figure 12 and figure 1. Again, if you consider our position is at figure 5 on the clock face. Anthony Joshua looking to quicken his feet now, and he's stalking Robert Hellanius, pinning him to the ropes just above our commentary position. Beautiful left hand to the body, right hand to the head, and Hellanius' knees visibly dipped, but he was able to get off the ropes back to the space of center ring, pushed off Anthony Joshua and increased the distance between them once again. Hellanius jabbing before tapping Anthony Joshua with a left hand. Joshua coming forwards once again behind a left-right combination. The right hand got through, and Robert Hellanius' legs appear to have gone soft. It's as though they've been deboned, and now every shot that he's being touched with, to head, body or shoulder, well, it's having a pronounced effect on his balance, and Anthony Joshua must have that sense, if we can glean it here from ringside, that his man could well be there for the taking with a sustained assault. There's a trace of red on the left cheek of Anthony Joshua. I think he sustained nose damage. Robert Hellanius breathing through an open mouth, his movements becoming rather more labored now. And again, his balance doesn't appear good because he's trying to come forward. He lands a left-right combination. The right hand threatened to strain to rabbit punch territory by going around the rear of Joshua's head. And then a 2-shot success once again. And Hellanius fighting through the fatigue, scoring with a left jab. Anthony Joshua breathing through an open mouth. Big left hook wound up by Robert Hellanius. Oh, beautiful left jab by Hellanius. Snaps the head back of Anthony Joshua with the 2 men at center ring. Both men feeling the pace just beyond the midpoint of this 5th round. Solid left jab pistoned out by Anthony Joshua. Then a left jab to the body. The roundhouse right to the body came by second-class post and was easily evaded by Hellanius, but a clumping right hand landing from the former 2-time champion. Referee Victor Loughlin separates the 2 men after they momentarily found themselves bound in a clinch. And a left jab landing from Hellanius once again. Anthony Joshua bending at the waist. He scores with a left jab to the body after he took a left jab upstairs from Hellanius. And Hellanius' movements, they're slowing. He's breathing through an open mouth. But it's as though when he's in this rather precarious looking position, he's been the most dangerous he's been all contest. There he scores with a left jab. Roundhouse right blocked by the left glove of Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, definite trace of blood coming from his nose. Left hook from Anthony Joshua causes Hellanius to totter because their legs got tangled up. He was on 1 foot momentarily. That's why the crowd increased their decibel level here at the O2 Arena. But now he's got his boxing stance back beneath him. And as the 10-second clapper sounds, it's Anthony Joshua just getting himself away from the ropes. Back to the middle, left jab to the head. Right hand landed beneath the armpit of Robert Hellanius from Anthony Joshua. And it's Anthony Joshua who ends the round with a double jab. Both boxers wearily walking back to their respective corners, breathing through open mouths, and both of them with damaged noses as well.
That was a terrific round. A round that we didn't expect to see. None of us thought we'd see a round like that. I'm amazed how marked up Joshua is. He's got that mouse under his right eye. It looks to me like his left eye's a bit swollen high up. and he's got it, and his nose is bleeding, and he's breathing heavy. Hellanius doesn't have that much left in the tank. I'm going to ask the question now before it ends. George, what would happen if Hellanius had 6 weeks training?
Oh, you can't be the hypotheticals never in boxing.
But I'll throw it at you, George. You don't have to answer it. You can bounce it back at me.
But I think in that round, Hellanius caught Joshua just above his left ear. It was a loopy right hand that came over. It had a slight effect and definitely gave Hellanius a bit of confidence. He let his hands go a lot more in that round. He's got his arms up now, waiting for the bell to ring.
And again, despite it's the most torrid round of the contest in that 5th round, Hellanius making a point of being the first man to rise once again, as if to say to Anthony Joshua, well, I might be breathing through an open mouth, but I'm ready to go. How are you feeling? And it's an action-packed start to this round. Both men exchanging jabs. Hellanius with the final jab to the body of Anthony Joshua. Double jab from Joshua. Head, then body. And now Anthony Joshua on the front foot. Left jab, left hook was off the mark. The left hook was off the mark, but then he followed up with another stab jab to the body of Robert Hellanius. And then just giving an indication as to how fatigued they are. Both men held their arms out like latter-day George Foreman impersonators, but no punches were thrown as they looked to prevent the other man from punching. 50 seconds gone in this 6th round, and it's Joshua busier with his lead hand. Hellanius moving to his left. It's Anthony Joshua looking for a left-right combination. Follows up the attack, making it a 2-phase attack by scoring with a left jab to the body. Hellanius, after his good portion of success in the 5th round, less aggressive, but there he comes back with a double jab. The right hand was ponderously slow, and it was caught by the left glove of Anthony Joshua. But make no mistake, Anthony Joshua appears to be feeling the pace as well. Both boxers breathing through mouths that are wide open. Robert Hellanius trying to get some dynamism into his footwork. Reverse 1-2, right hand, then left hand from Hellanius. The left hand did get through as it was speared down on a steep trajectory. Hellanius, his mouth wide open, his chin up in the air. Now he tucks his chin down onto his chest, and the two men at center ring, shaping left jab, left hook from Anthony Joshua. Left hook was off the mark, then he scored to the left jab to the body. And again, both men showing that they know their way around the boxing ring, but they haven't really found the range with any significant sustained assaults. Left jab from the Robert Hellanius was a more eye-catching shot during that exchange of straight punches. And Hellanius appears to be feeling the pace desperately. His mouth hanging wide open, his gum shield visible. Launches a reverse 1-2, right cross, left jab. The left jab got through. Joshua comes back with a left jab of his own. And again, the two boxers locked in the center of the boxing ring, not going to the perimeter, not looking to get to the outer reaches of the roped arena. Left jab to the body, right hand over the top from Joshua, and the force of that effort seemed to back up Hellanius towards the ropes. And now Hellanius retreating to the blue corner. This may be his last roll of the dice, because physically I'm not sure that Robert Hellanius has very much left. He must be fighting on fumes, because he's finding it very difficult to move and punch. He's doing one or the other, either moving or punching, but he can't do both at the same time. And increasingly that's making him a static target, a sitting duck for Anthony Joshua's punches. Can he capitalize? He's looking a little bit cautious, not as circumspect as he was against Jermaine Franklin, but he's not putting combinations together. Remember his rant after the second fight against Usyk, when he said he's 18 stone, so can't throw in combination fashion. He's using a lot of singles right now. Let's head over to the 2021 Olympic bronze medalist Fraser Clark and get his perspective on this contest.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a bit of a strange one, to be honest. You know, I'm not seeing enough aggression from Anthony Joshua here. A lot of single shots, single attacks. I think he's making Hellanius look better than he is, and I think he really is there for the taking. He's going to take some aggression and, you know, go forward. Don't give this guy any respect. This is heavyweight boxing, and, you know, we all know at any one time this can be over in 1 second. So if I was Anthony Joshua now, I'd put my foot on the gas. This guy's ready for the taking. Take him out.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Put your foot on the gas and take him out, Ronald. Come on, AJ, listen to Fraser, listen to Big Fraser.
Round 7.
Well, we go into the second half of the fight, which has been an unusual encounter so far in that both boxers, remember Anthony Joshua 250 pounds, Robert Hellanius 249.4 pounds, two big heavyweights with Hellanius at 6'7", Anthony Joshua at 6'6", and it's Anthony Joshua who's the busier boxer to begin this second half of the contest, scoring with the jab, but Hellanius scored with a single jab of his own. But again, we have to emphasize that Hellanius appears to be struggling physically. He's in the invidious position of having to choose as to whether to punch or defend himself with either his legs or his hands. There he tries to come forward with a left jab to the body by pushing off his back foot. There he takes a left jab to the body and right hand over the top. And again, the bruise from the right hand of Anthony Joshua caused him to totter towards the neutral corner on his near side of the ring. Then, taking in big lungfuls of oxygen, he almost staggers in reverse gear towards the blue corner. Anthony Joshua lands a left hook. Hellanius claimed his man. Referee Victor Loughlin separated them, and physically Hellanius appears to have absolutely nothing left to give. He's taken two left jabs from Anthony Joshua, whose face is swelling as though a kid has been playing with modeling clay. He's got a swelling beneath his left eye, his lips are puffy, he's bleeding from his nose, and it's a physical fight given how few clean punches have been landed. There Hellanius lands a right hand with the inside of his glove onto the left ear of Anthony Joshua. The action is in the middle of the boxing ring. Scoring left jab to the body once again from Joshua, and a right hand has landed on the chin of Robert Hellanius and deposited him on the canvas. Referee Victor Loughlin did not bother to administer a count, and it's a single shot KO from Anthony Joshua, who ends a KO drought of 2 years and 8 months, a 3-fight KO drought. And Anthony Joshua has exited the boxing ring immediately. He was gesticulating in the corner after landing that devastating overhand right, and he has walked across the ring and exited from the neutral corner side on this near side of the roped arena. The same 3 steps that he made his way up about 40 minutes ago, he has exited without saying a word to his team, to the press, and I'm not quite sure who he is going to now. Now we're into the AJ show once again, because he's high-fiving and exchanging well wishes and salutations with fans. And just to bring you further context, we mentioned that for the past couple of rounds, Robert Hellanius appeared to be fighting on fumes, and when Anthony Joshua found a home for his overhand right, well, he fell like a tree that had been dropped and chopped down by an axe. Conor McGregor just giving Anthony Joshua a swig of water. Anthony Joshua now exchanging pleasantries with KSI, but again, there's a team of paramedics around Robert Hellanius. He is receiving all of the medical attention from the staff in attendance, but when the finish came, it was swift and it was emphatic. Steve Bunce has adopted the role of roving reporter. Steve, just bring us up to date with what's going on.
AJ's just in front of me now. He's about 3 feet from me. He's just about to get back up in the ring. He's just wiping a bit of blood off his nose. He's just right next to me now. You're going back up in the ring, AJ? No, he's just touring, saying hello to people. That was him talking to me there. He's just touring. He's got James, who's always with him. He's just literally going around the ring and fist pumping with different fans. It's as simple as that. In fact, it's no more complicated than that. He's just going to do a full circle. If you just look to your right now, he'll be coming past you any second now.
Yes, indeed he is.
That's what he's doing. He just wants to say hello to the fans. Nothing more serious. Back up in the ring.
Yep, he's climbed up the steps next to the red corner, the corner of his opponent, Robert Hellanius, now raising his right hand and bowing to all 4 sides of the O2 Arena. The replay of the single shot KO is being played on the Jumbotron. And Anthony Joshua ending a KO drought that lasted 2 years and 8 months and 3 fights. His last knockout coming in bout number 25 in December of 2020 against Kubrat Pulev. And so now Anthony Joshua, well, not as impressive as the KO of Robert Hellanius scored by Deontay Wilder, but a KO nonetheless. And I'm pleased to report that Robert Hellanius back up on his feet, and the former sparring partners able to look one another in the eye and share a warm embrace and some sentiments of respect after battle. Wonderful to see that Robert Hellanius is able to move around under his own steam, and there is so much respect between the 2 boxers being exchanged after that emphatic finish, Steve.
You knew there would be. You knew there'd be that moment when they come, but that behaviour there was odd, but then being up close to him, he was fine. He winked to me. He's just all he did, Ronald, was just pump everybody's fists all the way around the ring. It wasn't an angry, confused protestation, which is what we saw last year in Jeddah. That was just AJ, just a burst of emotion, just wanting to get out the ring. He looks now. It almost looks agitated, and that can happen. The adrenaline's pumping. And how about this word, relief, Ronald? Let's get relief in there.
Indeed, ending that run of contest without a KO, whispering into the ear of his promoter Eddie Hearn, right above our commentary position. I can reach out and touch his white boots trimmed with black, and again he raises the right arm of Robert Hellanius, and he deserves immense respect, George, for stepping in at a week's notice. The man who is a gatekeeper in the heavyweight division, facing off against another former world champion tonight, the 5th time he's faced off against a world champ. He beat the faded champs of Lamont Brewster, Samuel Peter and Sergei Lyakovich. He's come up short against the more liver former world champions of Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, but that man got to put some respect on his name, because he saved an entire show tonight by accepting a late notice job.
Yeah, no, he definitely did, and he came to win. You know, it was periods where you want a bit more conviction from him, but he definitely came and gave a really good account of himself.
Calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 1 minute and 27 seconds of round number 7. Your winner by knockout, Anthony Joshua.
Say again. So Anthony Joshua receiving the applause from the capacity crowd here at the O2 Arena as the strains of Junior Gong, Damian Marley, Welcome to Jamrock pump out over the PA system here. Anthony Joshua back to winning ways in terms of scoring a knockout. Still not really celebrating up there in the boxing ring. He's looking businesslike, but in his second fight under Derek James, he has come away with an inside the distance win. Going to hand over to Steve Bunce, who again has adopted the role of roving reporter.
Yeah,
Steve, it's over to you.
Yeah, just to let you know that AJ is pulling Hellanius in to do the interview. AJ, they're looking to do AJ, and he's pulling Hellanius in. That's sportsmanship.
So there you have it, back in business. Anthony Joshua with the knockout. You heard Ron say there, it's been a drought. And this seems like something that he absolutely needed, George Groves. This is a man who's a puncher. He's a heavyweight. We saw an essence of Anthony Joshua when that knockout came this evening.
Yeah, he did. It's an old wrestling celebration, I think. WWE, I can't remember exactly who it was who had it, but yeah, I mean, everyone, you always want as a fighter that satisfying KO, that satisfying finish, and they always come most spectacularly in the heavyweight division, and big guys can hit so hard. So I think, yeah, but I think Steve mentioned it, relief. It feels like there was an element of relief there at the end. Relief that he's finally got a knockout, relief that maybe there is this mega fight that was on the line tonight, that he had to get through this fight first, and now he's got, finally, his Deontay Wilder fight set up. But I mean, ultimately, a good performance, really, a good performance.
And it was solid, wasn't it? You know, there were times we were looking, it got a bit cagey in the 3rd round or so. We started to hear boos, George, you know, and that's a really interesting thing. I've never heard boos at an AJ fight before, and it left me a little bit confused, because I thought, are the punters becoming impatient here? They're thinking, this guy, he's an unknown, this fight should ultimately be over.
Sometimes, I mean, who knows why you're booing, and booings do ring much louder than cheers sometimes, which is very disappointing, but they might have been booing Hellanius because they want him to be more engaged. So it's not nice to hear. It's a real shame. But I wouldn't say that there was people booing Anthony Joshua at this point. You know, when you start getting into round 9 and 10 and nothing's happened, then maybe there might be some picking on the fighters, but it was definitely undeserved, in my opinion, through this fight.
And what we saw again tonight, Ron, was a fighter who had to get that win tonight, but do it in a fashion and in a way that excited people, and that was the kind of knockout that we saw this evening.
I think the finish certainly falls into that category. It was a spectacular single-shot knockout as Robert Hellanius striding over the top rope just above our commentary position. skating across the apron and exiting down the steps at the neutral corner again. It's wonderful to see that he's able to move under his own steam and he's fully coordinated and in possession of his senses. But the finish against the faded Hellanius was emphatic. Let's hand over to Steve Bunce.
Yeah, I think AJ's once again stepped outside the ring. He's doing himself. He's down here with friends and family, looks like. I'm just going to grab a couple of seconds with him if I can. Yep, absolutely. He'll do his stuff. Tony Bell, you thanking him there.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
AJ saying goodbye to everybody. AJ, just as you're wishing people well, what's with the celebration outside the ring? I love it. What's with it? It's beautiful.
This is what's important. Like, all the microphone stuff in the ring is for like clickbait, social media and stuff. This stuff here isn't for social media. This is spending time with the people who came out tonight. Obviously, I can't go to the top rows and stuff like that and see everyone, but like, they spend their hard-earned money, and I hope they enjoyed it really. And I just wanted to make sure I kind of pay them their respect, because that's what's important.
You did that at Wembley when you beat Klitschko. Do you remember you stayed in the ring for an hour afterwards? You seem to love that night.
Yeah. Let's go. We do it again.
I'm going to ask you about the fight just briefly. I'm not going to drive you mad, because I know you want to be with these people, and you're absolutely right. You deserve that right. How was it for you? How was it? How was that fight for you, AJ?
Opponent, but it was good. It was good. Like, I had to figure him out early on. He's very unique. He's a unique style, so I just tried to figure him out, and that was it really. I knew what I had to do. I stuck to it, and I got there in the end.
You did get there. Good shots in the end. Your footwork was good. Your balance was good.
It's all building. Like, of course, I'd like to knock him out with one punch. You know, I'd love to do that, but I didn't. I got him in 7, and hopefully I could do it earlier in the next one. But I felt good in there. I'm comfortable in the defense. Like, it's a guy that was taller than me, rangier than me. I felt comfortable. So I'm starting to feel that confidence in the ring again.
Did you have a sense at the end that that's it? I just want to get out of the ring, say hello to people, get back to my family, get back to my people, and turn off a little bit. And did you get a sense at the end, AJ, that you just wanted to get your business done and just go back to having a bit of normal time?
Yeah, I was going to walk back to my changing room.
I know you were. Don't worry about that.
It's a gladiator sport. I went down the whole route of like trying to promote British boxing heavily at the start of my career. And then obviously I took a few losses, and then I can see what people are really about. So, you know, I just really want to just do my thing.
But AJ, you were British boxing. You don't knock yourself. You were British boxing. They came out in their thousands. They're hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, I know, but it's a fickle sport as well. You know, you got to be real. You got to be real about what's going on in this industry, and don't get too caught up. You know, so I just wanted to do my job. I got my win, and then I can leave, right? I've done my job, right? But I wanted to see Bunce, and
you did your job.
Yeah, so I just want to go and see people and just call it a night now.
And I'm going to let you go, because
thank you, sir.
I'll never hold you too long. AJ, thank you very much for your time.
Really interesting there from Anthony Joshua, Steve Bunce. This is somebody who clearly is relieved that he's got the win, but the experience, the evolution that we speak about with AJ, that's somebody who also, you can clearly see that the sport has really changed him as a person. Oh, there's me speaking to Steve.
Back to it.
Hey, you found Eddie now.
I've got Eddie. No one told me there was a big 6'5" geezer behind me in a suit with a white shirt on, smiling. Eddie, first of all, he got the job done. He's very emotional.
Yeah, he was, because obviously, I knew this would happen. Everyone's talking about the new AJ, the old AJ, and after 2 or 3 rounds, the crowd starts to get a little bit impatient. And, you know, you've got to also understand this guy's coming at 5 days' notice. Josh has been in a training camp for 6 weeks for Dillian White. The guy's 6'8", he can punch a bit. He don't want to take no chances. He finds the measure of his right hand, and he delivers one of the knockouts of the year on Robert Hellanius. Absolutely brutal finish. And this is just the AJ you're going to see now. No chances. He's not going to come in, start crossing his feet, trading with his chin in the air, and he's still got to be more aggressive than we saw tonight. But there's a lot on the line.
Massive.
And obviously the late replacement was difficult, but I'm just pleased that he's delivered the knockout of the year, and you know, he needed that, because the fight was starting to get a little bit frustrating. Crowd were getting restless, and they went home with a massive knockout.
It seems like the wrong time to ask, looking forward to ask about Wilder, but I've got to ask you about it. I know the Saudi representatives are here. Might it be, you know, might we move closer to it in the next days?
Yeah, I mean, we hope it's imminent.
Is that too soon?
Yeah, we hope it's imminent. To be honest, you know, and that's why he wanted the Dillian White fight. It's hard for him to get up for fights like this and Franklin. The Dillian White, obviously, situation is what it was. But the Wilder fights, the Fury fights, that's what he wants. And, you know, like I said, he's going to be smart in those fights, but he's got devastating power like we saw tonight. If he hits Wilder on the chin with that right hand, the fight's over. But we know Wilder is very, very dangerous. And AJ can't just afford to be backed up in that fight either. So a big box tick tonight in terms of the knockout win. Still a lot of work to do. But, you know, this is about Anthony Joshua now. This is not about pleasing other people, I'm afraid. He's given everything to the sport, everything to the British boxing. He's going to fight like he needs to fight to win.
And that's exactly what he said to me. It's about me now. Eddie, thanks very much for your time. See you very soon.
Well, this is what it appears to be like, Steve, isn't it? You can see here, this isn't about people pleasing anymore. And as I was saying to you just before you started speaking to Eddie, after you spoke to AJ, this is about AJ the person now. This is not about him being out here, being the guy that's here to do the media, here to do the press. He said it's a gladiator sport. I've gone in, I've won, done the job, I'm going home.
And, you know, it goes back to what some of the stuff we were talking about earlier on. He's an angry man, you know. I think, and rightly so. You know, we built up. You know, Ronald and I told stories here tonight about how, you know, he gets overlooked, and I think he's been abused. I really do, from the very start. And I think it's outrageous what some of the way sometimes people treat him. And I saw his emotion there.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
That was raw, Ronald. That was raw, brother. You could hear it.
Absolutely. And again, Steve, we've known him since he was at Finchley. We've covered his career since that time when he was on the rise. After he won that first ABA title, remember, he joined us at West Ham. Absolutely. When Kevin Mitchell fought for his world title against Michael Katsidis. We've known him all that time. Talk about his development, his maturation. But he said something really interesting during the course of fight week, Steve. He said, as he just said to Steve, I've realized how fickle the business is. He said, people don't love me, they love the belts. And whoever has the belts will be king, and they will get all of the adulation. And he seemed to be expressing that sentiment to you during that post-fight interview. I think he's being really harsh on himself, because I think that outside of the writers and the broadcasters and all of us who cover the sport, I think there is a lot of love for AJ.
And so, George, you can feel that energy there from AJ. Is that something that he needs to kind of bottle and maintain in order to be able to beat someone like Deontay Wilder? I need a quick answer from you, George.
Yeah. He needs to be switched on. I mean, he just needs to be at his very best to deal with Deontay Wilder, and it's a fight that he can't afford to make any mistakes in.
Well, what a night it has been here at the O2 Arena. Anthony Joshua with the knockout against the last-minute replacement, Robert Hellanius from Finland, the Nordic Nightmare. And it was his own nightmare that was created tonight on that apron. What a night it was indeed. Deontay Wilder is next for AJ, and can he maintain that energy, that anger, and be in a position to get that journey back to the heavyweight titles? It's been a brilliant night here. Thank you from me, Ron, George, and Steve. Good night.